Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to the Dirt Sheet. It's the Going In Raw Dirt Sheet, available right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Also available at the iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play.
Did you say SoundCloud?
Did I say this is the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to?
No.
Oh, man. The only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. Also available at soundcloud.com/Steve and Larson. You guys can check it out there. Let's get those SoundCloud numbers up.
Yeah.
It's funny. Last time I said that, I didn't upload that episode to SoundCloud, and somebody called me out on it. Oh, boy. Oh, goodness gracious.
Good.
Man, we got a lot to talk about today, Larson.
We do, especially because CM Punk is finally fighting this weekend at UFC 203 in Cleveland.
I want to know, the only thing I want to know is what songs he can come out to. You know, the UFC can totally afford Cult of Personality.
But do you think he'd walk out to that knowing that it would just, fans would just think of his days in WWE?
Well, here's the thing, though. He's going under the name CM Punk. He's going under his wrestling name.
But he wrestled as CM Punk prior to WWE. That's been his wrestling name.
But I think he was using Cult of Personality before WWE as well.
Oh, was he?
I think so. I think that's why it was kind of a big deal when he started using it in WWE, because like, oh, it's his old theme song.
Oh,
that
gotcha.
he used to use.
I didn't know that.
Anyway.
I didn't know that.
So the interesting road that CM Punk has been on.
So it was what, 3 years ago he signed?
Yeah.
God damn it! Was it 2 or 3 years ago?
It was early 2014 to January 2014.
Yeah, so 2.5 years.
2.5 years ago that he signed. So he's coming up on his first actual fight at the age of, what, 53?
I think he's the same age as you. I think he's
around,
38.
Yeah, I think he's my age. He's
38 or 39.
Yeah, something like that. UFC 203 is fighting the young stallion Mickey Gall, who has a total of two wins in 2 fights in his young professional career.
Yeah.
The UFC, when they signed Punk, said, yeah, we're probably going to try to get somebody who's kind of like him. And I was like, kind of like did nothing in his life in terms of this sport.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they got as close as they could with that. They got Mickey Gall. They sort of did this reality show looking for a fight.
Did you watch any of that?
Has any of it aired?
I thought it was all supposed to be on YouTube.
Oh, is that what it was?
I thought so.
I don't know. I don't. It's weird, man, because like I'm not gonna say such a casual. I'm slightly less casual than, say, like you in terms of the UFC. Like I know some of the fighters.
Yeah, I just kind of pay attention to
it. Like in the UFC, the turnover rate is so high.
Yeah.
Like people figure each other out all the time.
Yeah.
And so I'll watch UFC as much as I can. But I'm not like hardcore MMA guy.
Yeah.
You know, like I know the basics. I know a little bit more in the basics. And so, but given that, like, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of him being in the UFC.
I know. This has been well documented.
Yeah, this has been like all over the place. Because to me, being even a casual fan, I feel like his signing simply cheapens the sport. Mm-hmm. The UFC is supposed to be. It presents itself as the major leagues of MMA. You know, this is like the NFL in football. This is like the NBA. This is like the MLB. None of those organizations. Like, for example, right now, Tim Tebow is trying to make the Atlanta Braves.
No, it's the New York Mets.
It's the Mets now?
Mets signed him, yeah.
God, I swear. Didn't the Braves express interest? I thought
maybe they expressed interest.
I thought somebody else expressed interest. I didn't know that. So the Mets actually signed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's being sent to their instructional league team in Florida, which is the lowest level of professional baseball.
That's fine. Do you think that Tim Tebow... Do you think Tim Tebow, everything that have you read up on this at all?
A little bit, and I heard an interview with Gary Sheffield. He used to be a former major league player who did a session, a batting cage session with Tim Tebow.
Okay.
And I heard his opinion on things, and he said that Tebow has some raw talent. Mm-hmm. He said when he saw him in the cage taking swings, that he knew the mechanics of swinging a baseball bat.
Okay, all right. Tebow, I would assume, probably played high school ball. Yeah, I know he didn't play college ball.
Yeah, I think he played high school ball. Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me because you could do that in high school. You can play anything. You can play everything in high school.
You can play all the sports in high school.
But once he got to college, obviously he's like one of the greatest football players in college. Of all time.
Yeah.
You're not doing. Does anybody ever do double duty? I mean, those are two.
No. People, a lot of people do play multiple sports in college. Yeah.
Okay. All right. At that level, though.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think. I don't think Deion Sanders played baseball in college, but he played pro baseball.
Okay. Yeah.
For a while. But I think Brian Jordan played both baseball and football in college. Okay. And he was a pro in both.
Okay. All right. So I don't know exactly what kind of experience Tim Tebow has in baseball.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this then. The Mets signing Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
What percentage of it is name recognition and what percentage of it is, oh, wow, this guy actually has talent?
I think it's 95% name recognition.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it's that high?
Yes. He's 29 years old.
Yeah. He's
just starting out in pro baseball. Granted, he's based on all the evidence we've seen in his days playing football, he's a great athlete.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But baseball is one of the harder sports to succeed in, and to start playing professionally at that age, after not having played for probably 10 years,
right?
That's a huge obstacle to overcome. Huge.
Okay. All right.
So I think maybe 95% is overstating it, but I think. They probably saw his workout and said, yeah, he might have some raw talent. We'll give it a try. But when we bring him up to single A, that's going to help our attendance.
Right. I'm making a very loose comparison here.
Yeah, I understand what you're
saying,
Tebow.
Yeah. In Tim Tebow's case, and in the Major League Baseball.
And also, I should say, I didn't see any of his workout. I didn't see any of Tebow's workout.
But Tim Tebow,
this is just me. This is my perception.
He's not immediately jumping up to the main roster in the MLB.
No.
So, and I don't know if UFC has what they consider farm promotions.
Not that they own and operate, I don't think.
Right, I don't think they do either. But I mean, they just probably consider,
I wonder if they could sign a fighter and say, okay, we'll sign you, but we want you to fight in this regional organization for a while or something. I don't know if that works.
I don't know if they have that system in place. I've never heard of that system, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not knee deep in the UFC, so I don't know their business dealings with that. I'm sure some of our friends who really love that shit are and might know about that stuff. I haven't heard about it, though, so I'm not sure they do that.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they did.
And by all indications, Punk, especially with something he said, so we're going to talk about his weight loss in a second, or his weight cut in a second, because as of, yesterday?
As of September 2nd, he gave an interview with, I didn't write down.
10 days out from the fight, which is Saturday.
8 days out from the fight, which is Saturday, he was still over 200 pounds.
According to him. Now, this might be hyping up the drama.
Yeah.
And he's going to lose, and he said he's not working with a nutritionist.
And he needs to get to 170 before weigh-in, which I'm assuming is Friday.
Correct. Now, apparently on a conference call, Mickey Gall said, oh, I'm glad he's probably not going to make weight because I get 20% of his purse. To which CM Punk replied, if you get 20% of my purse, that's going to be the biggest payoff you ever get in your lifetime. Which indicates, and I think rightfully so, that he's probably been paid a lot of money by the UFC.
Oh, yeah.
So do you think Tim Tebow could come from professional football, a professional sport?
Yeah.
And I imagine there are some parallels in terms of structure, management, front office stuff between NBA, MLB, NFL.
Well, they're
agents, just the general process
but in terms
things.
of the actual process of playing the individual sports,
of course,
completely different.
Of course, they're completely different. But do you think the Mets aren't bringing Tim Tebow up to make professional level money?
I don't think so. No, I don't know what he's getting.
I mean, he's a name, so maybe he has a really good agent. And if that's the case, and in CM Punk's case, he's a name that was highly sought after.
Yeah.
Look, I'm all in favor of people chasing their dreams.
Yeah.
And in fact, the same case could be made. I'm a big comic book lover. Mm-hmm. Case could be made. Screw him. He went straight to the head of the line with Marvel Comics.
I know.
Same case could be made there.
And it could be that on Saturday, CM Punk wins decisively, and he has a decent UFC career. It's totally possible that Tim Tebow could be a New York Met in a year and a half and be a quality, everyday Major League player. It's entirely possible.
All entirely possible. A lot of things are possible in this world. But he's got it's just between the injuries, the reports of the subpar sparring sessions, and now his weight cut. His need for a drastic weight cut.
Yeah, we watched a little bit of his public workout he held yesterday in Cleveland. He looked a little tired.
He looked very tired.
And his upper body looked really thin.
It did.
He was wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
I'm assuming to sweat more so he can cut weight.
Yeah.
And we couldn't really see, his face.
Yeah.
But his upper body looked really thin.
And other people were talking about how, they saw other pictures of him where and I got this on Twitter, a couple of Stephen Fenders, for example, was saying, he saw some pictures and bags under his eyes and gaunt face. So it'll be, even if he does, this is the thing though, you can either lose 20% of your purse and have a pretty decent chance at winning it because your body isn't depleted, horribly depleted. I was doing some comparisons in terms of where people, what weight people, what they call the walk around weight. Mm-hmm. What do you walk around at? If Punk is walking around at 200.
Yeah, I think he wrestled in WWE more than that, I thought.
He said he was all over the map in WWE. He said at one point he was up to 240.
Yeah, I remember in his documentary he talked about a period where I think either when he went to ECW or debuted on Maine.
Yeah.
I think someone told him that he needed to bulk up.
Right, exactly. And then in an interview I saw recently, I think it was the same interview where he said Vince McMahon's bankrolling it. No, it was before then. Where he said that he, at one period in WWE he was at 240. So let's say his walk around raise at 200. That's not too abnormal for the 170 weight class. I was looking up a lot of people. I was looking at a story on MMA Mania. Thiago Alves, who's currently in the top 10, I believe, in the welterweights in the UFC. An article in 2012 said this dude gained nearly 30 pounds in 3 hours after a UFC on FX2 weigh-in.
Well, that's gaining weight after a
weigh-in. That's gaining weight after a weigh-in.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys, I didn't read up on how drastic. I know I've heard of some pretty drastic weight cuts.
Conor McGregor really overweight before his first Nate Diaz fight?
Yeah, something like 20 pounds sounds about right.
But he had like 2 weeks to cut that weight.
Right, exactly.
It was still a very small window to cut that weight.
And it's funny because CM Punk makes the point of saying, I'm not going through nutrition. Now, look, CM Punk knows how to sell tickets.
Yeah.
So this could be him selling tickets.
That could be.
So I don't know. The whole fight game is sort of crazy, but you would think that you would do weight cutting and controlling your weight after having 2.5 years, and granted he's had surgeries and injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
You would think that's one of the variables that would be a bit easier to control as opposed to the variable of stepping into a cage and fighting a guy and not knowing what he's going to do.
It could also be a thing where his body is naturally comfortable at a certain weight.
Oh yeah,
he just could have hit a plateau.
Yeah.
Where he just can't get past that. That's possible. Maybe he's been in the last 2 months. Maybe he was around 250 or
but
220.
if he thinks he can cut 30 pounds in 10 days after hitting a natural plateau,
Oh, I know.
He
has to start.
Why wasn't he start? Well, he needed to start this a month ago.
Maybe he was, and we just don't know. We don't know.
That could be.
Know.
If he started a month ago, I don't know.
He could have started at 220 and was trying to cut down to 170.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
Try to cut 50 pounds in a month.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
I need to know, like, if he actually accomplishes this, like, I'm looking to get rid of about 30 pounds. So I need to figure out whatever he's doing.
You need to starve yourself for a week. And some friends of mine were wrestlers in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And what they used to do is when they worked out, they would work out in like full sweats, long sleeve sweats and sweatpants. But they also put garbage bags.
Yeah.
To sweat more.
Yeah.
To get rid of as much water weight as possible.
I put my boxing bag in like a steam room, like a sauna room.
Yeah.
And just do that 24 hours a day.
Yeah. Well, you can't do it 24 hours a day.
Sure. Why not?
You can do it for like 2-hour sessions, multiple during the day.
2 hours and then follow it up with 2 hours and follow it up with 2 hours and then do that 12 times.
And just drink only juice, no food.
No food.
Because you still need some nutrition.
You need some nutrients. Well, I've got some like baby vitamins over there. We put in the
you still need to, because otherwise you need to pee and stuff still.
That's good.
You need to cleanse the toxins.
I've got it all figured out.
All right, I guess so. You're the nutritionist.
You're not a nutritionist.
I did take a nutrition class in college, though. I did.
I took Tai Chi in college. Ask me if I remember dick about it.
Well, you didn't really go that often, did you?
CM Punk also said that I actually ended up I got a D on my midterm, and then I got an A on the final. Like when I had to redo the routine, I did really good, so I ended up with like a B in the class.
Good job.
Yeah, I know. I'm awesome. Talk about an ongoing lawsuit with WWE. Yeah, CM Punk also during an interview last week said that the question was posed as they said first, have you talked to Brock Lesnar at all?
Yeah.
To get any advice, and he said a couple times. And he said, your old boss, Vince McMahon. And he said, Vince McMahon is currently bankrolling a lawsuit.
Yeah, he did an interview with Inside MMA, and I think the question was, has WWE extended any support towards you?
Mm-hmm. No, he asked specifically about McMahon.
Oh, Vince?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he said, your old boss. He said, Vince McMahon, and he's laughed. And he said, yeah, he's bankrolling a lawsuit against him, insinuating that the current lawsuit that has been filed against him by the lead trainer guy,
one of the doctors, WWE employees,
right,
the one he references in the Colt Cabana podcast.
Colt Cabana podcast, then sued him for saying that he was, negligent in his care.
Yeah, defamation.
Yeah, and that's had to do with the staph infection that he said he had.
Yeah.
And a link to that, which is kind of crazy, like to publicly say this guy's bankrolling a lawsuit against me. That's kind of, I don't know the legalities of things, but that's a pretty harsh accusation if you don't have anything to back it up with.
Yeah.
Apparently he doesn't care. And apparently now he also has beef with his potentially former best friend, Colt Cabana.
Yeah, according to Front Row Brian, who's an MMA insider, he put out a series of tweets that said that Punk has a beef with Colt because Cabana went to Raw, went backstage, took some pictures, and Punk thought this may jeopardize the ongoing lawsuit.
Right.
Or like jeopardize Punk's defense.
Right. Hornswoggle also said something, didn't he?
A while ago, yeah, he said that one time he asked CM Punk
for a mutual friend's phone number,
and then Punk stopped talking to him because of that. Because Punk apparently thought, this is all according to Hornswoggle, that Hornswoggle was just using him.
Don't ever ask me for Hilton's phone number, okay?
I have it.
Because
I don't need it.
If you lose it. If I pull an AJ Styles and get that phone and throw it.
I have all my contacts backed up.
Oh, aren't you special? I don't. I'm ride or die with this guy.
All right. Well, I didn't notice how long ago this movie was announced, but they're making
it's been a little while. I remember it's been a while.
Chris Benoit biopic.
Yeah, called Crossface.
And the movie has found a new director, Lexi Alexander.
Okay.
She directed Green Street Hooligans, which I saw. It wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
She did Punisher Warzone. I didn't see that.
I heard good things about Punisher Warzone from sort of an exploitation film perspective.
Okay.
Like it was a well-made movie in that respect, and that it was trying to be a very violent, dark movie.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear bad things about it.
Yeah. And she's also a former karate champion.
Is she a 3-time world karate champion like Ernest the Cat Miller?
We'll have to check.
Okay, we'll have to check on that one. That's cool, though. Now, you read at one point there was a rumor that
Liev Schreiber
was
going to play Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
But I think that was about a year ago.
He's had a pretty decent career.
Yeah,
you ever watched that movie?
Career.
He played Orson Welles in?
No.
It's a good movie.
I'll have to check that out.
It was one of the, okay, I'll put it this way. Remember how VH1 used to do like
that was the Orson and Me one, right? The one with Zac Efron in it?
No.
Okay.
No. Wait a second. No, this was about Citizen Kane and James. James Cromwell played Hearst.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
this is the one on HBO or whatever.
I think so. Yeah, and it wasn't like a good movie.
Yeah,
but it was a well-made movie.
Yeah,
and it was just fun to watch. And Liev did a really good job as Orson. Because he's got sort of a weightier presence.
Yeah,
he
does.
He's good.
Yeah,
I mean, nobody's gonna be Orson Welles.
No.
But I think he would make it. I think who knows if he's going to be playing Chris Benoit? Probably not.
Well, Lexi Alexander, she issued a series of tweets confirming that she was going to be directing the movie, and I believe in those or afterwards she said that Liev isn't attached.
Oh, okay. He would have been good. I think it'd have been good.
Yeah,
he's weighty. He's kind of older though. He's been on the older side.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'd be weird to see some other dude. Somehow, because Benoit was not a pretty looking man.
No.
You know? And you got to go Hollywood ugly. You can't go real life ugly. He was kind of real life ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to be interesting to see who they get to play him.
I hope they cast someone who has some wrestling experience.
Oh, I agree totally. Yeah, absolutely. They should
That'd
cast
be ideal.
Heath Slater.
I don't know if that would work.
Drew McIntyre.
I think it needs to be a guy that's not in WWE
Tommy Dreamer
or TNA. No.
Tommy Dreamer couldn't play Chris Benoit, really?
I mean, I'm sure he could.
Oh, you know who could do it? John Hennigan. Johnny Mundo, John Morrison.
He doesn't look anything like
him. Who did he play in that little Triple H video that Max Landis did? He played somebody.
Yeah.
Who did he play? He played somebody.
Oh, I remember.
I forget who he played.
It was one of...
and then he played the Winter Soldier in like this little fan
funny.
film thing that just came out.
Morrison was one of Triple H's rivals in that thing, wasn't he?
I'm trying to remember who he was. Yeah. Was he... It wasn't Vince. Who was he? I forget who he was.
I don't remember.
Anyways, Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan is Benoit.
Oh.
I don't know. Joey Ryan has too likable of a face.
Yeah.
He's got a very likable face.
He does.
He's like the older brother in like an 80s, like the Goonies. He's like an older brother in Goonies.
Yeah. Yeah, he's what Josh Brolin.
He should have been in Stranger Things.
Josh Brolin would be a good Chris Benoit.
Josh Brolin. He's a little old, isn't he, though?
Well, yeah, he is,
He's a bit old.
but he would make a good Chris Benoit.
Yeah, back in his No Country for Old Men days. Yeah, that could have been good. Yeah. That could have been good. He's going to be Thanos. Yeah. Chris Benoit is Thanos. I could see that. I don't know. Somebody whip up a Photoshop of Chris Benoit as Thanos.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, goodness.
All right, you want to talk NXT?
Yeah, why not?
All right, there was an NXT last night, or a Wednesday night.
Okay.
Because we're shooting this on Thursday.
Yeah, that's right.
The show kicked off with TM61 versus Tony Nese and Daivari.
What's Daivari's? I don't know Daivari's first name. Because when I think of Daivari, I always think of his brother, the other Daivari 1. I forget. It's okay.
I'll look it up.
It's okay. Daivari. We'll just call him Daivari.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this. They're spotlighting a couple of the Cruiserweight Classic guys. Are these two? These guys have been confirmed to be up on Raw in the Cruiserweight.
I don't think so.
Haven't they? No. Hold on a second.
Maybe Tony Nese, but I don't know about Daivari.
I'm pretty sure I saw Cruiserweight Raw roster. Let's see here.
Aria Daivari.
What the hell?
Aria Daivari.
Thank you.
What?
I didn't hear this.
What?
SmackDown Live's getting their own Cruiserweight division? Oh shit.
That was a rumor.
I did not pay attention to this.
Vince wanted equal number of belts on each show.
That's such a Vince thing. Why don't they have their own Cruiserweight division? You know what they should do? They should have a Cruiserweight women's division.
That'd be great.
Bring a bunch of Cruiserweight women from around the world.
Yeah. But anyways, TM61 went over. It was actually a good match.
Yeah.
TM61 is a pretty athletic team. So it was very good.
Neither of these guys have been confirmed.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
I thought I saw Nese on there, but I guess not.
No, I knew. Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe Nese was on there.
Yeah.
I didn't think Daivari had been confirmed for it, but it was a good match.
Maybe they'll bring these guys into NXT.
Well, apparently, what's going to happen is
Lord knows NXT needs some.
The Cruiserweights are going to be on both Raw and
NXT. Yeah, but I wonder if I don't know. That's going to be weird. Yeah, I mean, this look. If this isn't some sort of tryout, if these guys prove something to somebody, then they might get signed.
Well, there's been other matches on NXT where previous participants in the Cruiserweight Classic have been in matches.
I'm warming up to TM61.
Yeah.
I like their chemistry in the ring. I still think they look like a couple of HR guys. But that's okay. If they demonstrate that they have some personality, some character,
yes,
then I'm all in. The thing that I kind of like about them, and I have no idea how old they are, but they look older-ish.
Yeah. They look experienced.
They look experienced. I like guys who are experienced because I can relate to that. Because we're old.
Yeah.
I don't want to see some young upstart like Brian Kendrick. I'm pulling for. I was before he got eliminated.
Yeah.
I was pulling for him. Older guy, a little weird. Me, older guy, a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
I don't look quite as good in skinny jeans as he does, though.
No.
I would probably look ridiculous.
Yes.
Somebody on Twitter said I sound sometimes like a Dick Tracy villain, and now I want to play that up.
You sound like a Dick
sometimes
Tracy
he
villain?
says sometimes my voice sounds like a Dick Tracy villain.
That's interesting.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. Next, we had an interview with Asuka.
Again, I like this, but less said the better. Same with Shinsuke Nakamura. I just think that when somebody doesn't know the language, if something isn't a strong point with somebody, then don't play that up. Part of the great thing about Asuka is the mystique behind her. She's just this devastating force, and she's terrifying. Don't really need to hear her talk. If you don't, yeah, you're squeaking left and right.
This chair is so squeaky.
I know. I gotta drill some holes in it or something.
I don't think that's gonna fix
it was fine. She still comes off as very charming.
Yeah,
she seems like a very charming, charming girl.
Very charming, very personable.
Exactly. But do you want a monster heel to be charming?
Well, she's not a heel though. She just kind of went a little heelish for the Bayley feud, but I think now she's back to not being a heel.
Okay, you're right. I misspoke. I don't think she's heel or face. She's just Asuka, which is great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. She just kills people. When the crowd starts chanting, Asuka's going to kill you, then you're not exactly I guess you can be. That's what I love about NXT. The lines are so blurred here.
I know.
Like Samoa Joe did great on commentary.
Let's get to that later because I think it's gonna. Granted, I looked.
Fantastic.
I looked to see what happened during that whole taping.
Yeah.
So I know what happens ultimately, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody until it airs.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a second. First, let's talk about Steve Cutler's interview.
Steve Cutler's great. Number one, I would be really sad if somebody else took on the gray denim vest. We saw it with Skylar and Hollis. I think we've seen it in a couple other people. Steve Cutler seems to have...
The denim vest needs to stay Steve Cutler.
That's his thing. He said, I loved it when he said this too. He says, I don't care if you love me. I don't care if you like me. And I really don't care if you hate me. The way he was framing that in the first place... Caring was sort of a binary function. You either care or you don't care.
Yeah.
So he said, I don't care if you do this. I don't care if you do this. But I really don't care. But doesn't that indicate he cares somewhat?
About the first two things, yeah.
About the first two?
Yeah.
I don't know why I pick on people, but it makes me laugh. I love his face, man.
Yeah.
That dude's got the best face.
He's got a fantastic face.
Who's got a better face? This is a hard question.
Okay.
Steve Cutler or No Way Jose?
Oh, man.
No Way Jose has the best face.
No Way Jose has a fantastic
wrestling,
face.
Right?
It's great.
There are so many different expressions.
His interviews are so much fun to watch.
They really are.
He's so much fun. He's so
Bobby
good.
Roode comes to me, and he's all glorious.
I say no way.
We get No Way Jose versus Bobby Roode next week.
It's
Oh, I'm excited about that. Who goes over? Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode.
Of course.
Leah Vaughn took on Ember Moon.
Yeah.
Ember Moon's great.
Ember Moon's that finisher, I can't get enough of.
I know.
Nobody does that fucking finisher.
Like when
when
she does it and they show the replay, I almost kind of just want a half an hour of that replay from different angles.
I know.
Like make that a whole episode of NXT.
I know. The only replay I ever want to see beyond that is NWO WCW World Tour when they do the replay on a base hit, and you see the guy crumble. That's the same kind of thing.
From different angles.
I can see him crumble like for 30 minutes straight, and I'll be entertained the entire time.
I know.
You're exactly right with Ember Moon. That finisher is amazing.
Yeah, it is great.
Yeah. And you know what I did love about that too is that earlier in the episode they said coming up next Ember Moon, and she's just out like in the Full Sail campus outside somewhere, and they have like a little LED light on her, and I'm like, I wonder if any other students are just sort of walking around while that's happening, and they're like, are those like some theater students cosplaying or something?
Maybe they don't offer night classes at Full Sail.
If Ember Moon is running around delivering that fucking top rope stunner to people, I should hope they don't let people out.
After the awesome No Way Jose interview, there's a segment with Tommaso Ciampa being checked out by an NXT trainer,
right?
And Johnny Gargano comes into frame,
and they say
they're talking about getting a rematch against the Revival for those NXT tag belts.
I don't think it's going to happen.
They have a match next week on the live Cruiserweight Classic special finale. Against some opponents, but I think if they win that, then they get a rematch.
But they have both been confirmed to be in the Raw Cruiserweight division.
Yes.
So I don't really see them picking up the NXT tag team titles.
But if we get another match,
hell of a good match is going to be. It's going to be a good match.
Next,
sometimes that's good enough.
Match of the night.
Oh yeah.
Andrade Cien Almas took on double talent Austin Aries. Austin Aries is so much fun to watch.
I love Austin Aries, man.
He's so much fun.
And here's the thing. You guys can go back and watch our old tapes when I'd run down people like Austin Aries. I said he was not the greatest man alive. I've turned on him. It's okay to have your opinion changed.
Mm-hmm.
The wrestlers are supposed to either get you on their side or make you hate them or make you love them. Austin Aries, he, in my opinion now, regardless of how short he might be, he's the greatest man alive, the greatest man ever lived.
And I'm really impressed. Week to week, you can see Cien improve.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. I like his shirt too.
And getting more, the shirt's great, and getting more comfortable. I think that's the more important thing. He was always a good wrestler.
Yeah, but
he's getting more comfortable wrestling for NXT.
One of the main functions of NXT is to get people comfortable in that WWE surrounding, and so I think it's doing a lot of good things for him. I want to know what they're going to do with him. I want to know more. I think mainly with this dude here, I want to know more about him.
Yes.
I love that old lucha kind of stuff, you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
where he came from,
Yeah.
what he did.
Yeah.
You know, even if you could just sort of reference
And
a
they
little bit.
kind of
some video packages
They
would help him.
teased it before he debuted in those vignettes.
Right, and those
they
vignettes. And
put out,
something more like that where he gets to talk about him and maybe take him back to wherever he's from and film him
that's a great
interacting
idea.
with the people.
Great idea.
I love it. That'd be great.
And our main event, your NXT champion, my NXT champion,
I love this
all
man.
of our NXT
Shinsuke
champions.
Nakamura versus Steve Cutler.
Wasn't much of a match.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Shinsuke had the upper hand for pretty much all of it.
It's so entertaining though. God damn it.
And you mentioned earlier about Samoa Joe's commentary, just the seething anger he was repressing.
Hold on though. It was so much. There was seething anger, there was self-doubt, there was analysis of the self, there was id and ego conflicting.
Yep.
Dude,
it was so good.
It was everywhere.
It was so good.
This was a masterstroke performance at the commentary desk.
Yep.
Samoa Joe every week is just killing it. In loss, in victory, no matter what. He is a multi-dimensional character.
And he even got a little, he talked a little shit to Tom Phillips.
I know, I love that. That's his name, right, Corey? Corey, always good to see you, Corey.
Corey goes, yeah, we'll go with it. He goes, yeah, that's fine. It was so good. It was just...
It was so
Samoa
good.
Joe was doing great.
Now, I don't think that I caught the very end of it, but there was no confrontation there.
No, Samoa got up and went backstage.
Okay.
After Shinsuke won.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like he would, when he spoke, it was analysis, doubt.
Yeah.
But when he didn't speak,
yeah,
you can just see the anger
for sure.
in his face.
Just
It was so good.
watching what should be his in that, you know,
so good.
And it was so because it so wasn't your typical hammy. He stands up and starts running him down. None of that. This was character building.
Yep.
This was really
Layers,
well done.
Layers,
depth. You know, this is whenever the rematch goes down, because he also said, they said, how's your jaw doing? He said, it's healing. It's a process. The doctors also found some other stuff that I got to take care of.
Yeah.
So, that's buying a little bit more time. It's letting the story build out.
Breathe.
Yeah, breathe.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. It's so good.
And you didn't watch last night's Cruiserweight Classic episode, you said, right?
Didn't take me through it. 2 matches, Zack
Yeah.
Sabre versus Noam Dar.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I think I know why we're kind of lukewarm on Zack Sabre.
Okay. hit me.
He's very good technically.
Yeah.
I think it feels like he needs to work on his psychology.
Yeah.
He's not a very effective seller
Yeah.
of offense against him.
I've heard that so much from many different veterans these days, and not just people that are bitter, because you can always weed those guys out. But the idea of selling seems to be, and I think Austin actually pointed this out, like sort of most prominently, that people just don't sell the way perhaps they should, and that's going to be a concern because you need to understand that people are getting hurt.
Yeah.
Here,
I will say this
about
Zack Sabre is he doesn't sell that he's hurt. Mm-hmm. It didn't seem like for the vast majority of the match, but towards the end when he did, it was really effective.
Right.
So I'm just hoping that as he matures as a wrestler in the ring, he can just improve upon that.
Right.
Because technically, in terms of how he transitions from move to move and reverses stuff, is really good and really entertaining.
Right.
But in terms of the storytelling aspect of the matches, it'd been nice to see him feel more discomfort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In terms of, because Noam Dar was doing all sorts of crazy moves to him too, and Noam Dar is on the ground, writhing, selling pain, and Zack Sabre just kind of seems uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Except for the end when he sold a elbow injury and it played into the finish of the match.
Okay.
That was actually really good.
All right. So just a bit more consistency with the selling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And the second match of the night was very good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. TJ Perkins took on Rich Swann.
I love Rich Swann, man.
And their storytelling.
Yeah.
There's a great segment in the first third of the match. Fantastic storytelling.
Right.
And that should mean the whole match was a really well told story. And Rich Swann's dedication to selling an injury. Mm-hmm. Some people will, like, if they hurt their arm, they'll sell it.
Right. Sure.
But they don't always alter how they perform their moves and what moves they perform because they're selling an injury. Mm-hmm. They'll do the move and then they're like, oh, my arm hurts.
Yeah.
Rich Swann was altering how he wrestled because he was selling an injury.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic.
That. I love that. I love
it was
that so much.
It made the match probably less exciting from a move standpoint, but in terms of telling the story, it was awesome.
Well, that was the Cedric Alexander Kota Ibushi match.
Yeah.
was great selling. Throughout.
Yeah.
That's good. I'll check those out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It was a good
check those
episode.
out.
It was a really good episode.
Yeah. Let's see here. Anything else?
No, that's
what
it.
else we got? Nothing else?
That's
oh,
it.
My goodness gracious. Well, check out. We have our Backlash predictions up right now on the channel,
Yeah.
so you guys can go check those out. And this weekend we've got 2 lists going up this weekend, and they have to do with heel and face turns.
Correct.
Yeah. So be sure to check those out. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.